Welcome to my preview of the Myrtle Beach Bowl featuring 6-6 Old Dominion versus 6-6 Tulsa. The game is going to be played Monday, December 20th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Tulsa is favored by 9.5 points and given a 67.6% chance of winning it. As far as series history goes, this is the first time that either of these two teams are meeting. That is a trend for the bowl season this year. So far, I've gone through and I've video previewed 8 games, and I'm going to preview all the rest of them, and I've written up my notes for most of the other games, and there are a ton of first-time matchups, more first-time matchups than I've ever seen before. So this is going to be a very interesting bowl season. It might not be the matchups that a lot of teams wanted, but it's going to be a unique bowl season that a lot of teams will be facing each other for the first time and trying to figure each other out, and that's exactly what's going on here today. Make sure, before I get any further, make sure you like, subscribe. I'm previewing every single bowl game this season, every single one. I've got another 8 or 10 here ready to go, and then I'm going to try and do the last 22 after that. So make sure you watch all those videos. It's going to be a great preview of the bowl season. So record review, just kind of what the experts were predicting, what myself was predicting prior to the season here. A lot of people did not expect ODU to get into a bowl game this year. So I was looking at them going 3-9, and Athlon Sports actually looking at them going worse than that, 2-9, and they were all set up to do that too. I mean, they were sitting at one point in the season, they were sitting there with, I think it was 1-6, and they completely turned things around. Really one of the most underrated storylines of the season, miraculous turnaround for ODU. Tulsa, on the other hand, a little bit of a higher expectations than it ended up being. Tulsa, I was predicting an 8-4. Athlon was predicting 7-5. Of course, Tulsa finishing 6-6. So the Golden Hurricanes not quite living up to expectations, but not shooting too far below them, but they could have definitely had some games here that they should have won that they ended up not winning throughout the year. As far as worst losses go for ODU, is probably Liberty. They 17-45 defeat there, a pretty big defeat. That's not that Liberty's a bad school. That's my second school. I love Liberty, but numerically, that was their largest defeat there. But that was a little bit of a wake-up call for ODU. After that point, after the Liberty game, things really started to turn around. I'm opening up their schedule here real quick. I should have had that open from the beginning. I apologize. But just looking at their schedule... One second. Sorry. All right, so just looking at their schedule, after the Liberty game, they did lose a couple more games there, but that was really the biggest loss after that one. And then they really turned things around. We're going to talk about their wins here. They went on a 5-game winning streak. They were sitting at 1-6. They went on a 5-game winning streak, including probably one of their best wins was a close win, 24-17 against MTSU, who finished the bowl season bowl eligible. They finished the season on a 5-game winning streak to get to bowl eligibility. So great job by the Monarchs here to finish the year strong. It's not how you start, it's how you end it. The Monarchs have finished strong this year. For Tulsa, their worst loss probably came against, definitely came early in the season, first game out the stretch. FCS school, UC Davis. I know UC Davis has been competitive in the past, and I think they were especially this year. I didn't find out exactly what their final FCS record was, but you never want to see FBS school lose to an FCS school, especially one that's supposed to be one of the top group of 5 conferences here in Conference USA. Sorry, in American Athletic Conference is what I meant to say there. Of course, Old Dominion out of Conference USA. All right, best win for Tulsa. They were probably, you'd have to say, 34-31 win over SMU. Finished the season 8-4. So the American Athletic Conference really kind of having a down year overall. Cincinnati, of course, going with a great year, going to the playoffs. Wish them all the best. But the American Athletic Conference as a whole, their teams not standing up and being as strong as they were in the past. Really, in that conference is Houston and Cincinnati, and after that, everyone else got a little bit of an easier road here, but Tulsa definitely standing strong in the end, getting that win against an SMU team that probably outclassed them on paper, so a good finish by them as well there. As far as top players go, so for ODU, it's going to be their freshman, Hayden Wolf. He has made a big mark on this season. He replaced Mac Jr., who was throwing at a 51.5% completion percentage. And while Hayden doesn't have that much of a better completion percentage, I think it's still sub 60, he did throw for 1,757 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He is responsible for all 5 of the wins in this last win streak, and they won. He's won 6 out of the last 9. So actually, he's he's responsible for the 5-game win streak, and he's actually responsible for all the wins that ODU was able to accumulate throughout the season. So that was the right switch. That was the right change. This kid is a difference maker. If he's one guy you're going to call the MVP, one guy who made ODU get to this bowl game here, it's definitely going to come down to Hayden Wolf here, because starting quarterback in all 6 of ODU's wins, and that surprise 5-win streak finish of the season. For Tulsa, it's going to be their quarterback as well, almost getting to the 3,000-yard mark this season, going to pass it in the bowl game for sure. 2,969 yards passing, 16 touchdowns. Now the issue though, 16 touchdowns. He also has thrown 16 interceptions. That is the most interceptions in the season. A big part of the reason that Tulsa hasn't won the games that they should. I believe they've thrown interceptions in every single one, but they've thrown picks in 8 of their games. So there's only 4 games on the season that they didn't throw picks. So that's going to be a big key. Let's get the keys of the game here. Keys of the game here for ODU: take advantage of turnovers. Interceptions are going to be coming. 16 turnovers on the season. ODU's defense, they're not their best, but they're competent, especially have been down this final stretch of the season. They should be able to force some turnovers, and they're going to happen. Like I said, 8 out of the 12 games, he threw a pick, and most of them had multiple picks in them. So the interception is going to be coming. Davis, unless Tulsa just goes completely run the ball heavy and doesn't throw a pass, they're going to make a turnover. It's just kind of how they've been this season. So for ODU, it's take advantage of those. Turn those into points of some form, even if it maybe means going for it on a 4th and down or a situation where there's not 100% probability of making it. Get points off of it. Take advantage of those turnovers. For Tulsa, take pressure off of Davis. Do everything you can to prevent him from having to get into a slump, where he's having to get out of phase with his wide receivers, maybe starts stressing, maybe starts pressing, forcing the ball downfield and getting those interceptions. Take the pressure off of him. Emphasize the run game. The main running back for Tulsa, Brooks, has 922 yards, so he can get involved in the running game, the competent back there, and then get the short, easy passes going. Get Davis into a rhythm, get him out of his own head, let him know that he's got a team to rely on, so he starts making the clean, easy passes that he knows he can complete versus trying to push it down the field into coverage. So my prediction on this one, I think that Tulsa is going to make some mistakes, and if ODU can take advantage of them, they might get the win, but I think that it's the end of the streak for Old Dominion here. I think that Tulsa is the stronger team on paper, even if they have made mistakes in the past. I think Tulsa will make some mistakes, but survives for a closer than should be win, and is able to gut out a victory in the end. I would love to see an Old Dominion's upset here. Of course, having played my other team, Liberty, it looked good for Old Dominion to win here. So I'm not rooting against them by any means, but I think Tulsa is going to be the one that comes away from this one victorious. But I'm going to call under on that over-under. Thank you for watching this video. Like I said, I'm previewing every single bowl game this season. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the other videos. All right, thanks so much. Go Big Blue!